Hi, my name's Kaitlin Riegel, and you're watching The Bee Shine. So when I first started songwriting, I was performing at coffee houses with a bunch of folk singers when I was 10, 11. So that's when I first started writing songs. My parents had very good taste in music, so I listened to a lot of classic artists like Billy Joel and James Taylor. I listened to a lot of Bruce Springsteen. I went to his concert not that long ago, and he was phenomenal. And then I played a lot of jazz music because I played in a jazz band, from like standards to newer stuff like Amy Winehouse's stuff and Jamie Cullum and those guys. So besides playing that, I also listened to a lot of that. Also, the radio has always been a really good friend of mine, so I've always listened to the radio growing up. So whatever's come on, and also, you know, friends refer you to things. So my friend, one of the big turning points in me writing music was when my friend, for my birthday, gave me the Kate Nash Made by Bricks album, and she was like, "This album's super sweet and just a little bit naughty," and I was like, great, cool. So I listened to that album, and it totally changed my perspective on songwriting in terms of doing stream of consciousness things and specific things. And yeah, so it's been a mashup of varieties throughout the years. So there's no specific, like, this is what defined my genre. It's just been like, I have these people in my life and I have this music going on in my life, and it all kind of influenced me in some way or another. I've listened to a lot of hip hop and R&B, and I really, the best part that comes out of that sort of stuff for me is the like getting a groove going on and getting the beats out of that. So, because I've started beatboxing so I can do looping for live performances, and so I've watched lots of YouTube videos, watched lots of beatboxing on YouTube. Regular gigging is definitely a huge thing. I think we kind of live in a generation that sometimes underestimates the power of live music. Everyone's quite studio-based, or a lot of people are quite studio-based. So, I mean, at the end of the day, a really good way to get your name out there is live music, you know, and that's how people can experience you. So I did that a lot in New Zealand, and I'm doing that a lot now that I live in London. And, yeah, what else did I do? Lots of social media stuff. So promoting yourself on social media, being active, and yeah, being engaged and engaging with fans. I'm also like quite nerdy and weird, so I use weird, funny internet sites who have a bit of a community. So I've talked to people through there who have become fans as well. I was working on a mathematics degree before I started pursuing music full time. And my dad was the one who encouraged me to drop out of my mathematics degree and go do music. So I was talking to him and was like, you have to be the first father ever to tell a kid to drop out of a math degree to go do music. But no, they're incredibly supportive. They've always been incredibly supportive. And yeah, I wouldn't have gotten to this point without them. It's really, really useful to have people behind you and have people believe in you. And obviously, like, they're the first people I ever played any of my stuff for, any of my original stuff for, and, you know, now I've gotten to the point where I'm comfortable playing new songs in front of whoever. But at the beginning, you know, you get really, it's a part of yourself that you have to, you know, show to people, and it's much easier to show it to your family who are gonna react in a positive way and love you regardless, than show it to random strangers, you know. So it's very useful to have such a supportive family. And I was talking about this earlier today. It's like being in a suspended reality. It's like you don't feel yourself running out of breath. You don't feel yourself getting tired. You don't feel yourself getting sweaty. You don't feel yourself getting, you know, exhausted, putting all your energy and pouring your life into this performance because you're so engaged and you're so in the moment. It's such an unbeatable experience because you're there, and the only place you can be is right there on that stage and engaging with people. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, I performed to audiences of like 5 people, and I performed to audiences of like 500 people. And it's sometimes the smaller audiences are even better because it's that engagement. It's that, you know, you want to deliver the same show every time. You know, people are there to experience your music, and you're desperately trying to share your message and share your music with them. And so it's like being in this suspended reality. It's like, it's the most live in the moment thing possible to be doing. A really big one for me was I was doing a gig that was supposed to be, or I thought was supposed to be a kind of casual gig. It was at a beach, and I thought it was just like a little thing, you know, a little community thing. And I went there, got there early. There were already like a whole lot of people there. And I was like, oh, okay, there's more people than I expected. And I set up, and it was my headlining gig. And there ended up, I went to go start playing, and there ended up being 500 people there. And it was such a huge thing because, you know, that was the first time I performed for that many people, and I wasn't expecting it. So I was mentally prepared to be like, okay, I'm doing a small gig right now. And it was this massive gig, this massive deal. And I got so much positive feedback afterwards, and so much engagement from the audience, and so many people talking to me and wanting my CD. And I was like, it was funny how it turned out. And it was a very exciting experience for me. And it's awesome because as much as you want to be confident in yourself and confident in your own music, you know, and not take negative criticism and be able to go forward without, you know, people patting you on the back all the time. It's such a satisfying sensation knowing people got your music or got something from it, and really genuinely enjoyed it. So that was a big turning point for me, being like, whoa, I can totally do this. I can play these large scale events. My family lives in New Zealand still, so I've moved halfway around the world from everybody, and living in London, and new city, new life, new culture. So that's something I'm really proud of doing, is taking that step and committing and moving forward. And I think that I can see how that causes a lot of barriers for people, because it's incredibly intimidating to like commit that much to your art, you know, like to believe in yourself. And that's I've come such a long way from when I was younger and I wouldn't show my songs to anybody, to moving halfway around the world for my songs. So yeah, that's been a very proud thing for me to have accomplished. My whole premise behind writing is to make people relate on a more specific level. So, and the reason I started doing this is there's in the 21 Pilots album Vessel, they have a lyric in a song called Migraine that I like connected to so much. They have this one little specific phrase, one line in one of the verses, like totally not even, it's not in the chorus, it's not something that you would necessarily remember. But for me, I listened to that lyric and I was like, oh my God, that hit the nail on the head for that experience for me. Like, I get that. I totally understand what they're saying right there. And I want to make songs that do that for people. I want to write stuff that people can empathize to and relate to, and realize you don't need to be limited by genre. You don't need to be limited by, commercial lyrical content. It's all about making the world slightly smaller and making people relate to each other and understand that, even specific experiences can be universal. And that's what's really important to me while writing, is creating music that supports that lyrical content.